Yeah, I think, going against that style of offense, in spring football and fall camp and, some of the route concepts and things like that, obviously there's a lot of carryover. I don't know if it really gives you any kind of advantage or, you know, ace up your sleeve or anything like that. I think the one thing that's hard, the simplicity of the offense, there's really complexity built in with it because, they run certain concepts. The run game is fairly simple, yet they just execute. There's complexity with the simplicity of the operation. So they execute at a very high level, and I think the biggest thing for us is just try to disrupt that execution, throw off the timing with the quarterback and the receivers, and you can't let it turn into 7-on-7. And so I think getting the quarterback off the timing and then get them behind the chains. You can't just sit there and let them, second medium, third and short. If you are, you're going to be up for a long day.
I personally have friends who are Texas Tech grads. I know the Red Raider Nation is a passionate one. How do you come into a bowl like this that's just a stone's throw away from Starkville and a lot of state fans consider home field advantage? How do you expect the Red Raider Nation to travel through this?
Well, as you know, anyone that has anything to do with Texas Tech, we got very passionate fans, obviously. I don't know what the turnout will be, but I know that there are going to be a lot of people obviously excited to watch this football game. And, we got two really good football teams, and I know our players are really excited to play. First time we've been to a bowl game in a while, so our kids are very excited.
Running back to Coach DeAndre Smith is now on the podium too.
Coach Patterson, the radio commercials here have said to come out to the Liberty Bowl because it could be a shootout, a high-scoring game. But as a defensive guy, is that something you anticipate, or obviously you probably don't want it to be from your perspective? But what's your thoughts going into this?
Well, I hope not. I'm not looking forward to a shootout. I know it's exciting. It is an exciting brand of football. Guys throwing it all over the yard. I mean, when you look at Mississippi State, the Rogers, he completes 75% of his passes. He has 6 receivers that have 40 yards or more a game. I believe they've thrown it for 4,500 yards. Something crazy. That's used to be someone's career, and he's done it in a single season. So, obviously it's going to be a challenge for us. We definitely want to slow them down, and they're going to obviously have yards and completions. We just got to make sure that we're sound vertically and do a nice job tackling in space. And like I said earlier, I think you just got to get them. You got to get them in behind the chains. Don't let them just stay on schedule.
And Coach Smith, obviously, if it is a high-scoring game, you guys will be doing your part in that. What have you seen that kind of gets you excited about what you might be able to do offensively too?
Well, the one thing with the extra practices that we've been able to get in, the kids have gained a lot more confidence in what we're doing from the quarterback position. Donovan has gotten better, over this period of time. So you feel good about our execution, that we can do that at a higher level. And they present some challenges on defense with their scheme, but we feel like if we do a great job protecting the football, getting the ball downfield, we'll have a chance to make some plays, and I think it'll be good for us.
How important is it for you guys to get that extra practice time?
Well, I'll speak, from an offensive standpoint, it's tremendous. It's, you hear the term extra spring ball, but, for guys that haven't had a lot of reps, this is important. Again, like Donovan, for instance, he was hurt at the beginning of the year and he didn't get a chance to start until spring ball. So you only had those limited amount of practices, and then for a guy that was a backup, didn't get as much during camp, and then now you get all these reps. Doing bowl prep, it just helps you out. And I had younger guys that got a chance to get more reps. You feel good about them moving forward. So it's tremendously important for a program in general.
Yes, sir. DeAndre, following up on that for a moment. Who are some of the younger guys who maybe did not play a lot this year, who've benefited most here in the last 2 or 3 weeks?
Jaron Bradley. JB, I think it was tremendous for him. You just see him every day making plays and getting better. So he's going to get a lot more plays in the game. So that was tremendous for him. J.J. Sparkman is another one. Cameron Valdez in my group, you could see him get more confidence every day and finishing runs. So it was big for him. And then some young guys up front, the Jacoby Jacksons, and he's going to be a good football player, and this was good for him as well.
Keith, what about on the defensive side?
Yeah, I think, young guys like Philip Belidi up front, I mean, just the more you can communicate and make adjustments and things like that, I think there's no pressure early in the first part of the preparation because the game is, 2.5 weeks away. So I think it's good where they can just go out and they can really focus. But Belidi comes to mind, Josiah Pierre at linebacker, Tyreek Matthews. I think it's benefited all those guys. It's just more reps. You think about it, these young men have been, back since August the 1st, and they've gone all the way. I mean, they hadn't missed a beat, in the weight room other than finals week. So I think that's been really good. Again, Dadrian Taylor, again, he's played a lot this season, but yet he's still, as you and I have talked about on a couple of different occasions, this is only his third year, really, if you count the COVID season as a full season. That he's played defense in his entire life. I mean, so just helping young men like that, technique, fundamentals, and just learning how to communicate adjustments in the back end, it's really priceless.
Question for both y'all. Offensively, defensively, how does Mississippi State compare to some of the other teams you guys have faced this season in the Big 12, if any at all? And how do you prepare for a team like Mississippi State who's so deep at every position?
Yeah, I'll start with that one. I mean, I think when you sit there's not really a true straight air raid team in the Big 12 any longer. There a lot of them have shifted to multiple tight ends. So it's kind of changed into a different type game than what it was back a few years ago when everyone was pretty much air raid. And so obviously most teams in the Big 12, it seems like there was one receiver, maybe a tight end, that we would say, hey, man, we're going to bracket this guy, or we're going to try to, make sure that we get our matchups correct, on certain personnel. These guys, like you said, there's 6 people, two of their top receivers two of their top 3 receivers are their running backs. So they do a nice job of creating problems. They run their route concepts, and the quarterback's very patient, and he'll check it down to running backs, which you have to have a plan for. So I don't know if there's anyone from a scheme standpoint that really resembles these guys. Oklahoma, they had a different style quarterback. I mean, you have he's an athletic guy. This guy likes to sit in there and go through his progressions, and then when he doesn't have it, he'll check it down to those backs and does a really nice job. So, they are very deep. They do spread the football around, and that's what makes them. They build everything from 4 vertical to try to stretch it, and then they stretch you sideline to sideline with RPOs and all the, I call them long handoffs. It's really, people say they don't run the football, but they do. It's just unique on how they try to do it.
Yeah, from the offensive standpoint, our perspective, the last 4 games of the year, we've had to go against some really good defenses, and there's just another one that's coached well. They fly around. They do have a lot of movement up front, which we've seen some defenses like that in the Big 12. So they create some challenges because they are good. They are coached well, and I think they're comfortable in that system, and you can see them playing that way. So it's going to cause us to be assignment sound. We'll do some things that we've had to do all year that I think will give us a chance to be successful. But as far as no one in the Big 12 is exactly like those guys. But I was Oklahoma State, for instance, they had a scheme that was very difficult to go against, and they presented some challenges as well. So we had to adjust every week, last 4 weeks, like I said, on going against some good defenses. So this has just been another challenge for us, but I think the kids are going to be up for it.
Keith, following up on what you were talking about just a moment ago, do you have any feel or sense for why the Big 12 has evolved away from being such a wide open passing game back to, however many running backs there were 1,000-yard rushers this year? that there are more high-profile running backs in the conference this year than quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think, football always, it goes through cycles, and I think it's just another cycle that we're starting to see. When the spread, hurry up, no huddle, air raid, when those systems hit, the defenses were so far behind. I mean, even some of the teaching methods, schematically, I felt like defenses were behind, and it took us a while to catch up. I don't know if we've completely caught up to it, but I think we've definitely closed the gap. Particularly in the big, you think about it because you had Dana Holgerson at West Virginia, you had Oklahoma running the same system, you had Coach Briles at Baylor running a certain type system, but everyone ran some version of spread, hurry up, no huddle, and tempo, and I think just the effect that it has on defenses, the number of plays people were playing, I think that was the improvement you saw from Oklahoma. Lincoln started slowing things down a little bit and trying to put more of an emphasis on running the football, and I think it helped their defense. If you look at, K-State's just been that steady pro-style offense, and their defense plays about 50-something plays a game. I think just head coaches understanding and the impact that it can have on a defense, the number of plays and so many shots on goal. I think there just seems to be a trend. Like you say, there was some really good running backs in the league this year, some really good tight ends in the league this year. And like it did shift. There was not a Jalen Hurts or a Kyler Murray or Baker Mayfield type quarterback this year in the league. It seemed like it did shift more to back to a running back league.
Coach Patterson, Ray Shot Williams from here in Memphis, what does he mean to your secondary coming in from UCLA?
Well, Jazzy, that's what we call him. He's done he's probably the most improved defensive back that we have. He continues to get better every week. He was another one that I really stuck out to me during bowl preparation. That just kind of just the way he was working to try to improve. He was taking advantage of all those extra practices. He's excited to be back home, obviously, and to play. And I'm excited to watch him, to be honest with you. All year long we've tried to put him on their best matchup at wide receiver. Did a great job against West Virginia, against the big Ford Wheaton, and then you had. He did a nice job against Kansas State, nice job against the receiver at Iowa State. So we've matched him up with everyone's best receiver, and he wants that matchup. So hopefully he'll accept the challenge again here on Tuesday. But I know he's excited to play the football game, and he has really continued to develop. The sky's the limit. I've been telling Don and these guys in Lubbock, his potential and his ceiling is really high, and has a couple more years to continue to hone his craft, and excited to watch what he becomes.
Why do you guys call him jazz?
I don't know. Jazz music in Memphis. I don't know. He just looks like Jazzy. He kind of talks with a high voice. I don't know. We nicknamed him Jazzy and kind of stuck.
Coach Smith, you talked about Donovan and his progression. How have you seen Barrett kind of take some of these extra reps, and how have you kind of been able to balance all that, especially with Tyler coming back and being able to kind of throw the ball up there?
Well, again, Barron, he benefited as well. His rep count went really up high, really high. Went up really high. I'm sorry, and the zip on the ball, his command of the offense, his confidence is so much better now because he's been out there getting those reps. So you see him improving, throwing it, running around, making the right decisions and things like that. That's kind of what I've seen from him. And we tried to, like Coach Patterson was just talked about early in the bowl prep, we just we focused on ourselves. It was more development, just those guys, and they all got a chance to get equal reps that way, and it just made him better. And he'll continue to get better the more reps he gets.
I know Donovan's been getting the number one. I don't know if you've asked, but I guess who's been kind of the number 2 and number 3 guys that have been getting those reps?
Well, right now, Donovan's been getting the 1 reps. Barron's been getting the number 2 reps, and then we have Parker McNeil. He's been getting the 3 reps.
Any of you guys have any past Memphis experiences or stories that
Well-
y'all been through here before?
Yeah, I mean, I think in 2005 was the last time I was here. We won the Liberty Bowl against Fresno, so it was a good memory. I just remember we were down 20-7, and Anthony Germany had an interception, and we ended up scoring. 2014, then a young man by the name of Nelson Coleman had an interception, and we ended up winning the game 21-20. So hopefully it's a low-scoring affair like that. I'll take 21-20. So I mean, that was a great memory, and it was a great bowl game. Just had fond memories of that trip to Memphis for sure.
This is only my second time here, and the first time I was just a tourist, going down on Beale Street. So I went to BB King. I remember that. And it's a Gus. I went to Gus. I think this is what it's called, the chicken place. Yeah. So did that. So it's kind of the places you need to go when you get here. But other than that, it was a great experience. I'm from St. Louis, so it's pretty close to here, but I never had a chance to come until really a couple years ago.